This is ABC7 with breaking news.
We need to encourage everybody to stay home.
With breaking news, as active virus cases surpass 11,000, County Judge Ricardo Samaniego is issuing a mandatory curfew for all El Paso residents. He said area hospitals have reached capacity. Good evening and thank you for joining us for ABC 7 at 10 Weekend. I'm Kate Bury.
And I'm JC Navarrete. Health officials say within the last 3 weeks, hospitalizations have jumped 300%. Now, the record-shattering increase putting a strain on our healthcare system. This move, spearheaded by the county judge, it will impact the city and county for at least 2 weeks.
The announcement made earlier this afternoon during a news conference with county officials. ABC 7's Brianna Chavez was listening in, and Brianna, the curfew is now in effect. How do officials believe it will affect the number of cases being reported?
Well, Kate, ultimately, with the help of healthcare professionals, County Judge Ricardo Samaniego believes that this will bring some stability to our area hospitals as they deal with more and more COVID-19 patients. Here at University Medical Center, right behind me, they are now setting up pressurized tents. They actually have them up and running right now as we speak. And the message tonight from city, county, and even state officials: stay home.
We really need to engage our community to work with us.
Hospitals officially at capacity, according to County Judge Ricardo Samaniego. New curfew now in place for the next 2 weeks to help stop the spread, as the county is now in a, quote, crisis stage.
All citizens should stay at home. Citizens are required to stay at home unless they're assessing essential services.
Judge Samaniego says he and the mayor spoke with Governor Abbott's chief of staff Saturday, agreeing a stay-at-home order would be harsh on the income of constituents.
Anything that stops the mobility for a while will help us regain our footing with the hospitals.
As hospitals scramble to make more space, over the weekend, 4 state mobile tents have been set up at University Medical Center. One for patients, one for pharmacy, and another that will be held as a staff and waiting room for patients. A 4th tent has not been set up, but UMC says it will be if needed. Las Palmas del Sol says they have not received a mobile unit, and Hospitals of Providence says, but are not sure at what site.
We also have additional resources coming in from the state that are going to be providing the same level of the structures to be able to provide additional capacity for the hospitals.
We really need to be El Paso strong and show our passion and our commitment to flattening the curve.
And Judge Samaniego says that they will be working on enforcement between the Sheriff's Office, El Paso Police, and the constables. He says he did speak to Governor Greg Abbott earlier this afternoon, and Abbott has pledged more support for enforcement as well. Guys, a really dire situation in our community tonight. That curfew is now in effect. Reporting live in Central El Paso, Brianna Chavez, ABC 7.
All right, Brianna, thank you for that. And let's go into those specifics of that countywide curfew. Take a look at your screen. It went into effect tonight. For the next 2 weeks, all El Paso residents must stay home from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. There's a $500 fine for violating that order, a $250 fine for not wearing a face mask. The exemption to that curfew is those traveling to work and for essential functions. And tonight, on a special edition of ABC 7 Extra, host Saul Sáenz will be live in studio discussing the specifics of this curfew with County Judge Ricardo Samaniego. He joins us live now. Saul, what is one of the biggest questions you have for the county judge after this announcement?
Well, most definitely, how will all this be enforced? That's one of the things that we definitely have to ask the judge. I want to apologize to our viewers who are expecting to see, and in my interview with Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, who was in town. However, this situation that we're going through right now is just too important to pretty much ignore. So we were prompted to try to find out exactly what's going on, exactly what the judge's orders are, and an explanation of how it'll be broken down. Enforcement, the wearing of the face mask, how will that be enforced? What about the curfew? Who can be out? Who can't? I'm sure our viewers want to know. We'll try to get answers for them. JC?
All right, Saul, thank you for that. Looking forward to that conversation. And of course, how do sports fit into this critical situation? We'll look at the county judge's response to that in just a few moments with ABC 7's Nate Ryan.
But in the meantime, JC, just take a look at the monitor behind me. It paints a clear picture on hospitalizations in El Paso. You can see this was around July that we're seeing this purple peak, which represents hospitalizations, and just see how sharply it increased in a short period of time. We're following this every day. And again, this chart is embedded on our website, kvia.com, along with new cases and other critical data. Also, we want to show you this graph courtesy of the city of El Paso. Again, hospitalization numbers alarmingly high. We are just shy of 800 patients hospitalized at 786. That's higher than the 7-day rolling average of 627 patients. Also, the hospitalization rate stands out this evening with 37% of all hospital capacity coming directly from COVID-19 patients, making it clear why the city is in such a critical junction today.
As many as 100 additional beds to deal with this shrinking capacity. The El Paso Convention Center will be converted into an auxiliary hospital to deal with the massive surge of COVID-19 patients. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said the Texas Department of Emergency Management would lead that conversion of the convention center. Governor Abbott telling ABC7 the state has sent 900 doctors, nurses, and other medical staff to the Sun City. This again comes a day after Abbott also requested to use the old William Beaumont Army Hospital to house non-COVID-19 patients. No word on a decision on that will be made.
El Paso Mayor DeMargo did not attend the county press conference. Instead, he made a national television appearance telling CNN that travel and shopping may have contributed to El Paso's recent surge.
We've had significant spikes to the point that our hospital capacity is really tapped. We're probably at the end of our rope there.
Now, again, it is another record-setting day here in the borderland. Health officials reporting 517 new cases, but they say the cases, they're not decreasing. Private laboratories sent in additional test results after the health department finished its report on new COVID-19 numbers. Now, Director Angela Mora says delayed test results will also be announced, but she didn't show or say how many. 3 new deaths are also being reported. The latest victims are a man in his 40s and a man in his 80s, as well as a woman in her 80s. All 3 had underlying health issues. That brings the death toll to 575. Health officials reporting a record high 11,321 active cases. As we've been reporting, hospitalizations do continue to surge with 786 patients, 177 of those in intensive care, 117 on ventilators. Again, hospitalizations, as we've been reporting, are up 300%. And we also want to give you a look at El Paso's rolling 7-day average positivity rate. Just 4 days ago, it was at 15.2%. That positivity rate right now is at 13.47. That rate of, again, is of tests that are positive for COVID-19. Take a look behind me here at the COVID-19 data for the city of El Paso. We also want to highlight the new cases per 100,000 here in population. The 7-day average is now at 104.3, when at the beginning of the month, that number was hovering right around 52.
JC, across state lines, Doña County has 206 of the state's 828 new COVID-19 cases to report. New Mexico's largest county, Bernalillo, has 156 new cases. By comparison, the state is also reporting 2 new deaths today, including a man in his 20s from Lincoln County. Half of New Mexico's intensive care unit beds are full, and 77% of general hospital beds are full, according to the state. The death toll for New Mexico approaching 1,000, standing at 967.